So we're going to do the the not so basic training, but okay. So for the starter, when you open the Tekla structure, at the moment we have the 2025 version. Okay. So what I have here is the service pack 4. So what that is the latest version. You can always uh, update your system if it is not on the service pack number 4 from our download database. And here, to start with the model, we're going to create a new model. Just go to the new and then type in here the name of your model. You can put your name and then the model. Let's say your name and then model. And you can uh, by default, it will be placed in the Tekla structure models folder. Okay, but of course, you can also create your own path, your own folder for this model that you are creating. Okay, not necessarily you save always in the same default folder because basically, if you can map also your server, you can if you have a data server, you can also save the model in your data server. At the moment, you can save that one to the default Tekla model folders. And for me, if you notice, I will be placing in a different folder because I have my, I don't want to use my C because I don't have enough space, so I use my D, and then created a folder there. Okay, so once you create this one, okay, just a backtrack a little bit. So basically, if you open the Tekla structure, you will see the recent. These are all the new the project that you're working on. Okay, it will always be in the recent. And then all models, meaning if you want to browse the model from a different path. Okay, let's say from the server or from D drive, Z drive, T drive, whatever. And then shared model is if you continue on this one, you can see the model that's shared to you through cloud. Okay. So at the moment, I think the training license doesn't have the model sharing capability, but your license by default it is included in the licensing. I mean, a few years ago, this is a paid what you call that? This is a paid part of the Tekla structure. But I think recently this is included in the license that you have. Okay, so shared model meaning the model will be on the cloud. Let's say this one is good. Let's say you have your office in Singapore. You have the office here. So if you want to join in a project, okay, so the model will always be updated, but it's in the cloud. So whatever you update, you write out, and then it will be saved in the cloud. And then if somebody wants to check the updated model, they will read in so that it will be updated in their system. So basically, the model, the updated, the always updated model is in the cloud. Okay, and then you still have a copy in your machine. The thing is, it will synchronize those updated if you read in. So there's a read in and write out for the okay. Now we have another system. We call it a multi-user, but that one only works on the LAN. Let's say in this office, let's say 5 of us connected to a LAN, so we can connect to each other. The model will be in one of our computer or in our server, but we can also work together. But this one, this model sharing is much more advanced because this one is in the cloud. Okay. But and also unlike the multi-user, that one is depends on the speed of your LAN. This one, it not necessarily depends on the speed of the internet. It depends on the speed of the internet during the write out and read in only. But when you work, it's like you're working individually. Okay. Now, under new, again, new, you can just simply type here uh, the model. You put your name. Let's say here, I will type here HL Johor underscore model 1. And then hit create. Okay? Kindly hit create. Okay, so it take a little while, but should be okay. Okay, so once you create the new model, there is something like it will show you something like this to create or select a project. This one is for the Trimble connector. So Trimble Connect, meaning if you want to share your model, again, all the license nowadays, if you have a new license, the Trimble Connect is with including the business premium. This is the CDE, the common data environment, that you can share your model to other discipline. Let's say to shop, if they don't need to have a Tekla structure, but you want to share your model to them, they can open the Trimble Connect. And even your client, if you want to share something that you have created, you can share using the Trimble Connect. They can open that one through web. Okay, they can open that one in their mobile, the model that you have created. If we have time, we are going to. I will show you how we upload this one later. Okay, just simply cancel this one. Okay, now before I continue, I just want to to tell you that nowadays, for the new version, the SP4, the latest version, you can also install this Trimble Assistant for Tekla. So this one is the AI inside Tekla. So meaning, the good thing with this AI is if you are lost, let's say how to model a beam, you just type how to model a beam, then it will tell you how to do that one. But at the moment, I don't know if you don't have the AI yet. So later we will try to install that. But the good thing here is here you type here how to model a precast wall. So if you enter, then it will go to the user assistance to model, then it will tell you the step by step. Okay? But anyway, it's just an additional info for you. But I mean, we're not going to do this. So hopefully in the future, hopefully this AI also can uh, do the modeling for us. Something like model a column this height, this size to this position. So hopefully in the future we will get that one. So but I think in our generation we can still we can still we can still have that one. Okay, it's very near future. Okay, so once you have this model, okay, can you okay, can you go through this view? Uh, okay, just open the 3D, double click the 3D. Yeah. Oh, oh, sorry. Okay, I think you opened the template one. Okay. So when you create a new model, basically if you control E, okay, if you notice, mine doesn't have the work area. But that one is very useful. Work area meaning if you have a huge model and then you want to concentrate only in the particular small area and do the modeling here and the detailing, then you can use that one. So at the moment, I hide that one in my work area. So if I type here, model views hide here. If you notice here, mine is hide work area to true. So if I turn it false, apply, and okay, and then redraw, so it will show me the work area like this. Okay? So by default, it is false, hide work area. Then I just put that one as true so that it will not shown. But again, it's your preference if you want to see the work area or don't show the work area. Okay, at the moment, let me just show the work area. Okay, so, okay, the first step here is this is the 3D. Okay? If we are talking 3D, so you can rotate, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, okay? And then you can do the panning. But even though this one is a 3D view, if you press Control P, My all right. Now, if you press Control P, that one will be a plane. Okay. So meaning, if you still want to work on the 2D way, you may do so. Okay. So something like use that one as your 2D like 2D drawing. But the good thing here is whatever you do here, it's and then you control and then middle button of your mouse and then rotate, so it will be a 3D as well. Okay, so you can easily again Control P. It's changing the 3D to plane. Okay, all right. So now, okay, let's go back to this work area. So if you notice here, my work area is quite big. All right. So if I want if I want to work only in this area, let's say I want to work only in this area, this one. Okay? If I want to work only in this area, what I will do is this. Go to the view and then select the view and then look at the work area and then using 2 points at the bottom, using 2 points. Click that one and then click one and then two. So two corner. Click one and then two. So can you see? It the work area now, if you control P, that is the work area. So meaning if you select that work area, even though that this model is full of objects, let's say all of precast objects in from A to D, and then from 1 to 6 it's full object. But when you pick the work area using 2 points, then the only visible object will be inside this work area. So that's the meaning of create work area. Now, okay, are we clear on that one? Now, if you want to see everything again, all you have to do is to select the view. So it will identify, okay, to identify that you are selecting the view, you can see this one, this orange color or yellow color on the border. So meaning you are selecting the view and then right click, you can see here fit work area to the entire model. So click on that one, fit work area to the entire model. And what will happen? It will show again the full model. So that is the way of navigating the model or something like using the work area properly by simply picking 2 points, and then if you want to expand, then fit to work area. Okay, so that is one of the uh, I think very useful tool that you can use later. Okay, now let's move on. So for the grid, okay, again, I'm going to do this one quickly. So for the grid, I want you to change the grid. If you double click on the grid, okay, Control P, double click on the grid. So here you will find that there is X, Y, and Z. What is X, Y, and Z? That one is the direction of your coordinates. Okay, X is going to the right. Uh, Y is going here, going to the right. Y is going up, and then Z is going towards us. Okay, because it's on the plan. Now, if I want to change this one, okay, you will notice here that you can see here that it is written as 0, 5,000, 5,000, 4,000. So the meaning of this one is 0, okay? From A to B is 5,000. From B to C is 5,000. 5, I mean 5 meters. From C to D is 4 meters. So it will be written as X is equals to 0, space, Okay? So this is the 0, and then space 5,000. So 5,000 meaning this one, and then space, and then 5,000 again. This is one, and then space, and then 4,000. So that is the meaning of that value. So we call that one as a relative value. Okay? So x is a relative value. Relative. Okay? Similarly, if it is a y, okay, if it is a y, so it starts again from 0, which is this one, and then space. If this one is another from here to 1 and 2, this one is 5,000. So same thing, this one is a relative value. 5,000. Okay? Or, let's undo that one. Okay? If this 2 to 3 and so on is also 5,000, if this one are all equal, you can just simply type here the quantity of this 5,000. So let's say I have here 2. So you can just simply type here 2 times 5,000. So meaning it's 2 equal 5,000 or more. Let's say if you type here 10 times 5,000, meaning 5,000, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, and so on. But don't ever put 5,000 by 10. You know what will happen? So it will be 5,000 grids. I don't know, maybe your computer will stop. Okay? So again, x and y direction is, we call it a relative value. Relative meaning like you're doing dimensioning, right? When you have a wall, and then you do the dimensioning from edge to the opening. So that is the relative value. Now, okay, you don't need to type this one yet. Okay, I will give you the value later. Okay, now for the z direction. Okay, for the z direction. Okay, let's say I have this one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So let's say this one is 0, and then this one is level 0. This one is level 1, level 2, let's say roof. Okay? And this one is, let's say, 3 meters. 3 meters. This one is 2.5 meters. So how you're going to type this one in the z direction? Okay? So for the z direction, it is totally different the way you write in x and y. Okay? For the z direction, we call this one as absolute value. Absolute. Absolute means it's always starts from 0. Okay? So you type here 0, which is this. Okay? Now, space. So the next level from 0 to level 1, how much? 3,000. Okay? Then the next one is again from 0 to level 2, how much? 6,000. Okay? 6,000. And lastly, from 0 to the roof is 8,500. So this is how you write the value in the z direction. You cannot write 0 space 2 times 3,000. That is wrong. Okay? For the z direction, okay, let's say especially for the HDB, it's something like 2785 times 10. You can unfortunately you cannot type 10 by 2785. No. You need to calculate that one. Okay. The first level is 2785. The second level, unfortunately, is difficult you need to have a calculator. The next level is plus 2785 plus 2785 plus and plus. That is the absolute value. Okay. So that one is for the z direction. Okay. And yeah, and then the next thing is the label. Okay, this one is, I think, self-explanatory. The label of X, the label of Y, and the label of Z direction. And what else? Okay, line extension. Okay, let me just. Okay, we'll move on to this line extension. What is this line extension? Line extension is this one, 2000. So that is the line extension. Okay, not okay, up to here. Line extension. So this extension is the 2 meters. Okay, you can change it more if you have the, yeah, let's, especially if you have a cantilever. Okay, from the grid line, so you have extra extension there. So you put it in a line extension. Then next is next is origin. This origin. What is this origin? Okay, if you notice here, our origin here, this is the 000. Okay, this is similar. Okay, the 000 of this one is similar to CAD. The AutoCAD 000 is exactly the Tekla structure 000. Okay, that's why if you create a drawing and then you put that one in 000 in AutoCAD and then you insert inside Tekla structure, it will be exactly here. Now, this value of the origin, if you want your grid line away from the 000, so you put the value here, you put the value here, you put the value here. Okay? In case that your model is not from the 000. Sometimes it happens, right? It shows on the coordinates, right? So you can use this one. And then other thing here is magnetic and then grid color and then the font size if you want to change the font size and then the color of the grid line. So you can change this one. So this magnetic, I mean, initially I can we can use this one, but later on, I mean, I don't recommend you to use the magnetic as yes. So what is the meaning of magnetic? Magnetic meaning if you model a column or beam in the exact grid line, without any gap, even point one, okay, exactly on the grid line. So if you change the grid line size, the column or the wall will move according to that one. But it is not recommended if you have a full model. Why? Because especially again, this works only if the element is exactly on the grid. What if your element, okay, let's say you have the column here, and then you have on the side of the column you have a corbel, and then you move the grid line. So the column will move, but the corbel will still keep on that position. Why? Because it will only magnetic to the handle that exactly falls on the grid line. So this one is useful if you are only on the, let's say, your building is, let's say, cost consists of column, maybe beam on the grid line on the initial stage, because later on if you have uh, some details, then it's not very helpful, okay, it's just something like additional option here. Okay, so now let's move on. So that is the grid line. So let's say we change our grid line. Okay, so kindly change the double click and then change the grid line to, let's say, maybe 0. um, okay, maybe 4,500 by 4,500 by 4,500, and then here on the y direction. So in the x direction, I have 3 times 4,500, and then in the y direction, maybe I'll type here. I will do the same, 3 times 5,000. Okay, and then modify. So you can see it's something like this. Yeah. So 4,500 and then or maybe 4 into 5,000. Yeah. 4 to 5,000. Okay, maybe I can just simply change this one to magnify if you want to see fire. Yeah, okay. So here, 3 times 4, 5. The other one, the y direction is 4 times 5,000. For the z direction, maybe we'll put here 2 8. Okay, so we put here the first level is, let's say, 2 8, and then the second level maybe we'll put 3 levels only. 2 8 times 2, how much? 5 6 plus 5 6 plus 2 8, how much? 8 4. Okay, that's it. And then here on the z direction, FL, or sorry, we type here FFL, finished floor line, and then level 1, level 2, level 3. Okay, by the way, if you want to type, level space 1, okay, you cannot simply type level space 1. Why? Because the FFL, and then the first level will be level, and then the next one will be 1. Okay? But if you really want to use level space 1, it's either you type here level underscore 1, or you type here double quotation mark, space, and then level space 2, but you need to put a double quotation mark there. Double quotation mark, space, double quotation mark, level space 3, and that's it. So meaning, if you want to use space, then you put that one inside the quotation mark. Okay? And then you can just simply click modify. So at the moment you will not see the elevation. Okay? Okay, everybody done? Now, as you can see my work area, okay, it doesn't fit to my grid line. So to fit that one again, what we need to do is right click, fit work area to entire model. And that's it. All right? And then now if you press Control I, you will notice here that this is the view list. So in your view list, how many views you have? One, which is 3D. Okay. Another thing here is, hey, I want to rename my 3D. Instead of 3D, I type here 3D view. I want to rename this. That one is very simple. All you have to do is double click this view, double click the view, and then the view properties will show here. Okay, double click the view property, and then you type here, let's say capital D, 3 capital D, and then view, and then modify. Modify. So what happened? It changed. This is how simple you can rename uh, the view. Okay, renaming the view. Okay, now what we're going to do next is we create the different views. We create the different views. By the way, to create the different views, there are manual creation of the views here. Basic view and using 2 points. Okay? Create basic view and create using 2 points. But I don't want to go through this one first because again, it will eat our time to explain all this one. But Instead, what I will do here is uh, we are going to create an automatic views. So views meaning I want to create the view on the grid 1, grid 2, grid 3, the elevation view on grid 1, grid 2 up to grid 5. And then also I want to create a view on grid A up to grid D, elevation view. So enable for us not to create it one by one manually, there is option here to select the view, select the grid, right click, okay, select the grid, and then right click on it. You will find here create view along grid line. So click that one. Create view along grid line. Right? Click. So what you will see here is the creation of the view along the grid line. So you will notice here that it will create the XY, the ZY, and then the XZ grid and then plan. Okay? And then you have the view properties. What is this view properties? So this view properties is how you want to show your view. If you click on the show, okay, so it is using the grid plan view properties wherein it will be orthogonal, and then here the visibility in depth will be 500 and 500 only. So what's the meaning of this visibility? Visibility in depth. So visibility in depth is if you create this view, okay? Let me just move it here. If you create the view from, let's say, grid D, the visibility of depth 500, 500. So meaning this one is 500, this one is 500. Okay? So here, this is 500 here, and this one is 500. 500 millimeter. Meaning, from this grid, I can only see 500 millimeter from this grid, 500 millimeter on this grid. So, if you're, uh, okay, if this one is the grid, and then you can see only 500 millimeter from here, right? If you're, if you have a wall, if you have another beam on 1,000 millimeter distance from this grid, you will not able to see it because the distance of the visibility or the view depth is only 500. So you need to increase the view depth, enable for you to see the other grid. But of course, you don't want to increase this one to the uh, to the distance that it will cover this grid as well. Why? If you view on the grid D and then your view depth is 5,000, so meaning you have you are viewing two grid lines, the grid D and the grid C, or the other grid. Okay, so this one is very important. Okay, sometimes when you do the modeling and then you don't see in the view, maybe your view depth is too short, okay? Or maybe you are not in the coordinates. Okay? So please take note of this one, the visibility in view depth. So at the moment, let us use the 500 500, okay? Click OK. So look, now creation of views along grid lines, okay? Then all we have to do is to hit create. Kindly click create. And that's it. You create already the grid lines. Okay? Then close it. Now, let's select all and then click the arrow to the right. Oh, wait. You, okay, now, because you create again, right? So just uh, pull this one here. No. You stretch. No, you stretch this one. Yeah. And then delete all. Select, delete all. No. Shift and select all. Shift and select. Okay, and then delete. All right. Yes. because it's difficult to if you delete one by one. Okay, close this one and then create. See, now you have a fresh one. All right. So now, because what happened here is, if you look, huh? So what she did here is she maybe double click the create here. See, it will show you a lots of views here. But instead of deleting one by one, so better to select all and then create again. So you have a fresh one. Now, what I want you to do is to select all and then click click on the right side, the right arrow. Okay? So when you click on the right arrow, what will be the what will be the message? You cannot open more than 9 views. Because opening more than nine, okay, 9 views is too much already. When you do the modeling, especially in 3D, sometimes in 3D, you just need only one view, maximum 2 views. 9 views, if you're doing a 2D, so you need to see the different angle, right? But in 3D modeling, it's different. But don't be scared in the modeling in 3D because okay, if you used to the way of modeling in 2D, sometimes it's a bit scary to move in the 3D, but don't because actually 3D will help you a lot. Because when you do the 2D, right? Something like if you want to see if this one is correct, then you have to create another view. You have to create another view if you want to see if it is correct. But in 3D modeling, it's different. If you put it there, you can just simply rotate. You can rotate up, down, left, right. You can see if it is work, if it is fitted or not. Okay, but okay. So now you cannot open more than 9 views. So what happened here is if you want to open another view, then just simply put on the left and then put again to the right. So as you can see here, you have a different view here, right? Now, you will notice that when you open that one, it will be on top of each other because you are maximizing your view. Okay, so look at this. If I go to the window and then tile horizontally or vertically, go to these windows on the top right, upper top side corner. Okay, so you can see here tile vertically or tile horizontally. So look what will happen. So as you can see here, it will fit on to your views, right? All the view that you have created. So now, the key here is okay. If you want to go back to your original 3D view, just simply go to the window and then close all view, okay, and then Control I again, Control I, and then here, double click the 3D view, and then here tile vertically again. By the way, just aside, what do you call that topic? If you notice here, if I want to fit this in my window, I don't need to go to this window and then tile vertically. So all I have to do is to press a letter in my keyboard like this. It's a shortcut. So now the question is how to do the shortcut. It's very simple. Just go to your settings on the menu settings. I will show you how to do that one. Then later on you can do as many shortcut you want to. Okay? So here under the setting you can see the keyboard shortcut. So open the keyboard shortcut. I don't know why it's not showing in my setting keyboard shortcut. Woo. Okay. It looks like I have an okay here. Okay. The keyboard shortcut is somewhere. Wait, huh? Okay, there you go. Okay, so this is the keyboard shortcut. Now, if you type here under the filter, go to the filter, and then type here tile. So let's say tile vertically. I will clear this one first. Select the tile vertically. You will notice here enter shortcut, right? So click enter shortcut. So it becomes blue. It becomes blue, right? So once it's become the blue, it tells you enter shortcut. So meaning, okay, mine, what I use, maybe you can use also, is letter Q. Type letter Q on your keyboard. No, just type. Don't type shift. Just simply letter Q. Just letter Q. Click the enter letter Q. Okay, right? Letter Q like this, right? And then click assign. So you will notice here, the tile vertically is letter Q. So now, okay, before you move on, another one is you type here redraw, redraw all views. Select the redraw all views. And then on the shortcut, type W and then assign. Oh, by okay, assign. All right. Now, and then okay. So let's say, for example, um, what else? Um, yeah, if you look onto the current view, there enter shortcut. Okay, look, what I've shown you is to use a single letter, right? If in case that if I type here enter shortcut and then I type here C assign, oh, C it's okay. So C cancel. Okay, C clear. Okay, let's say for example, you type here H. So if you type here H, if the shortcut is already existing, it will tell you. H meaning it's already a shortcut for highlight. Okay? So meaning instead of H, you can type here, let's say Control H. Okay? Clear. Enter shortcut or Alt H. So you can use Control plus letter, Alt ALT alternate key plus letter or Shift plus letter. Okay? If let's say for example, if you type here Control C is already copy. So you type here Shift C or Alt C. Okay? So again, because at the moment, that's the only thing that I use usually the Q and W, redraw and tile. For the other, then you decide later. Okay? But you know already how to do that one. So kindly close it. Okay, now let's try. Look at this. You minimize like this. Okay, and then type Q. So now instead of going to the window and then tile, then just simply use the keyboard shortcut. Okay? Are we clear on that? Okay, now let's move on. Okay, now that we have the this grid line, okay, this grid line. Now the question is, what if I have a diagonal grid line? Because usually, HDB, right? And then sometimes it's you have something like that. So okay, here let's change first our UCS to the desired angle of this diagonal grid. Okay, so let's say I have a 30 degrees. Let's say here I have this 30 degrees here. So how I'm going to change my uh, what do you call that? My UCS exactly 30 degrees. Okay, so this is how you do it. First, kindly go to the edit. Okay, edit. And then look for the points here on the right, top right side. There is a points. Okay, select the points, and then I want you to select the here one, this one, along, add points along arc using center and arc point. Okay, click on that one. Now, as you can see here, you can specify the angle. Okay? So if you type here 30, you can have a specific angle that you want to use. 30. Okay? Now apply. Now, how this one works. So basically, if this one is the angle 30 degrees, basically you have the imaginary, oh sorry. You're going to have an imaginary circle here, right? And then from here to this point, it will give you the 30 degrees here, this angle. Okay? So that's the meaning of 30. It's either positive or negative. Okay? If positive going to down and then you just put negative. That's how you work in Tekla. Okay, now let's do this. Apply and then look. Pick the center of the point. So here, you will notice here, pick center point. So the center point is this one. This is the center of our imaginary circle. Okay? And then this end of number 5, okay, the end of the grid line is the edge of the circle. Okay? So from that edge, it will move 30 degrees. Click on that one. Okay, there you go. So you have now this point. So this is 30 degrees. Now, if you have a trust issue, if you don't if you don't think that this one is 30 degrees, it's okay because you have this angle, okay? Under the measure, you can see the ruler in your, okay? You can go to the angle and then click again the origin and then 1, 2, 3. Click 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then what it will tell you? 30 degrees. Okay? So meaning we put the value there, we apply it, and then we check. Okay, so that's 30 degrees. Okay, so we're sure that that one is 30 degrees. Now, how to remove this? How to remove this? What do you call that? Dimension. That one is just a temporary. So all you have to do is to redraw. Okay, don't redraw by right click. What is our shortcut for redraw? W. So you just type W. Okay? So it will vanish. Okay, are we clear on that? And so far, any question? Everything is clear? Okay, now, using this point is very important. Why? If you go back to the view and then look for the work plane, go view work plane. Select the view and then look for the work plane. Because it's on work plane. Okay? And then, okay, for the work plane, we have a different types of work plane tools here. Okay? But the work plane tools that we're going to use is the 3 points. Why 3 points? So we can decide where is the X and where is the Y. Okay? So click using 3 points. Jaden Acosta. Okay? Click using 3 points. And then pick the origin. Okay? And then it says there, pick the positive X direction. So the X will be the point. And then pick point on the positive Y direction. So this positive y direction, you don't really pick the point on the positive y. It's a matter of where is the side of the y positive. If you put this one, the y positive will be below. Then I need to pick on the left side. Okay? So can you try to do that one? Can we have a 5 minutes break? Okay, so now, once you have this, you will notice that creating this UCS, meaning I think it's the same in AutoCAD. If you move the UCS, that will be your origin. So this one will be my origin now. Okay? And it is 30 degrees in diagonal. Okay? So now, if you want to add the same, if you want to add the same grid line, but diagonally, so all you have to do is to go to edit, and then here, you will find their grid, and then create rectangular grid. Create rectangular grid. Okay? Click on that one. And then as you can see here, just simply click. Click this point. Click this point. Because you can see there is it will go here, but don't click here. But you need to click on this point so that your grid will be placed there. All right? So again, that one, but again, this one is a separate grid, separate group. Okay, it is not one entity, but it's a separate group. Okay, so anyway, another way is this. Okay, let's say for example, we want to. So everybody got this one, right? So I want you to delete that one. Then I want you to change the UCS back to normal. So go back to view, UCS, and then there are two ways to do that, okay? Or many ways to do that. One is set work plane parallel to the view plane. If I click the last one, okay, click the last one, and then click the view, see, it will go back here. Just click the view, and then it will go back to the original position. The other one is go to the work plane, and then here there is a parallel X, Y, Z plane. Okay. If you click on that one and then the depth coordinates, just change X and Y to 0. Just click here, change, then it will also go back to this one. So it's the same functionality. Now, the other way of creating a grid is you can just simply select the grid, copy, select the grid, copy, okay, copy, and then pick this origin, and then put that one on this point, on the D. So you will notice here that I already copied the grid there. Okay, just click, just cancel, or yeah, cancel. Okay, there you go. And then right click and then interrupt. And then now this one, this grid, if I want to rotate this one 30 degrees, I can just simply select right click, move special, and then rotate. Move special, rotate. Select the grid, move special, rotate. Okay, click the rotate, and then I want you to it tells us pick the origin point of rotation. So my origin point of rotation is this point, this one. Okay? And then now you will notice here the origin, it will tell you the coordinates there. And then the angle, if you type here 30 and then move, see, 30 and then move, just cancel it. Yeah. And there you go. So again, different commands but same outcome. So that's how Tekla is. In Tekla, uh, same outcome. You can do that one in different ways. It could be, that's why it could be in 2D, it could be in 3D. So, but that's how you do it. Okay, so now let's delete that one and then let's continue working on this.